Love, a wonderful feeling, yet full of ups and downs, and surely we've all tasted the pain of rejection. That feeling of abandonment, of hurt, can plunge us into despair and cause us to lose confidence in ourselves. But what if I told you that rejection in love isn't the end, but rather the beginning of a new, promising chapter? If you want her to regret leaving you, sitting in sorrow won't help. You have to make a change, put yourself first, and become the man she didn't realize she'd lost. We're talking about a complete transformation from your spirit and emotions to your physical self. And the best part, this change isn't just for her, it's for you. By the time you complete these 13 steps, you may not even want her back. In this video, we'll explore the psychological paradoxes of love and learn how to turn rejection into motivation for growth and the pursuit of true happiness. Now comment below with the words, "I'm ready for transformation," and let's dive into the first rule. Number 1. Cease all contact, absolute calm. When faced with rejection, your initial reaction may be to regain their attention, to prove they made a mistake by pushing you away. However, consider this carefully. Chasing after someone who rejected you only weakens your own self-respect. Whether it's a partner, a friend, or a boss, the best response is to accept it and calmly step back. It may sound a bit harsh, but this is the most effective way to protect your self-worth. Those who reject you often expect a reaction, disappointment, hurt, or even an attempt to win them back. But by choosing silence and handling everything with composure, you send a powerful, unspoken message that this rejection doesn't shake your self-esteem. Silence is not just a reaction, it's a strategy that allows you to maintain control in the relationship. A critical rule in this strategy is to keep a clear distance and refrain from maintaining contact. No calls, no messages, no following them on social media. Why is this necessary? Because the more you try to stay in touch or show that you still care, the more they feel justified in their decision to reject you. When you quietly withdraw, you're sending a strong message that you're not dependent on their presence or attention, that you're okay even without them. Ignoring isn't a short-term reaction, it's a subtle strategy rooted in psychology. In today's society, particularly for those who receive a lot of attention, your value doesn't lie in trying to become one of the many admirers. Imagine for many women today, especially those with physical charm, attention is something they receive abundantly, perhaps even excessively. Every time they open Instagram, they're greeted with dozens, even hundreds of likes and messages. So if you simply blend into that stream, you become just one of many who are easily overlooked. But when you don't engage in the attention race, don't send messages, don't constantly try to leave your mark, you stand out. This difference highlights you. You're not the guy who comments on every post or sends messages nonstop. You're the one who spends time on his own life, career, and passions. That's the image of a confident man who isn't reliant on the approval of others. And it's that image that makes others think about you, even when you're not around. Your absence becomes powerful, creating a kind of scarcity in your presence. In psychology, when something becomes scarce, its value increases. Creating the right distance isn't about cutting ties or completely disappearing. It's about showing that you're of high value, not easily swayed or dependent. This isn't a mind game, but a form of self-respect and a way to maintain independence in a relationship. This principle holds true in other areas of life, from work and friendships to social situations. People always value what's difficult to obtain, what they feel requires effort to attain. This is where many people miss the mark. Keeping distance doesn't mean becoming cold, distant, or disrespectful. It means affirming your own value without needing to prove or explain it. Emotional control is at the core of any strategy for dealing with rejection. If you can't control your emotions, you lose the advantage from the outset. Imagine that calmness and the ability to avoid being swept away by emotion form a solid wall that shields you from mental blows. By displaying calmness and composure in the face of rejection, you demonstrate strength, and that's what truly makes you stand out. So the next time you face rejection, remember that responding isn't always the most effective approach. Sometimes, silence, natural withdrawal, and maintaining distance are the strongest ways to protect your self-worth and value. Above all, this is an act of maturity and independence, a reminder that your worth isn't dependent on anyone else. Number 2, eliminate desperation. Desperation is a highly noticeable emotional state, and it often backfires in relationships. When you reveal desperation, you signal to the other person that they are everything to you, that you have no other options. This leads to an unfortunate result. Your attractiveness significantly decreases. People, especially women, tend to be drawn to those who are confident, aware of their own value, and not overly dependent on winning one specific person's heart. Imagine the nice guy constantly checking messages, always ready to help, and showering the other person with daily compliments. This excessive attention can make the woman feel suffocated, leading to a loss of interest. While she may enjoy the attention, that doesn't translate to long-term attraction. In contrast, the independent man who doesn't rely too heavily on acceptance or rejection creates a natural allure. This man doesn't forsake his self-worth or go out of his way to please, making his appeal come from self-assurance, confidence, and a sense of security. To eliminate desperation, you need to change your mindset and perspective on yourself and the relationship. Instead of viewing the other person as the only one for you, remember that everyone has their unique value and deserves worthy options. Maintain an abundant mindset, understanding that attraction is not something scarce or to be won at all costs. When you recognize that there are many opportunities out there, and that other women may also share similar values, you will feel more confident, autonomous, and less bound to a single individual. Think of a store with countless beautiful pairs of shoes. You don't need to rush into choosing one, thinking it's the only pair available. You can take your time exploring, comparing, and only make a decision when you truly find the right fit. This abundance of choice not only brings you comfort but also helps you find what genuinely aligns with you. When you have multiple options and keep an open heart, you not only free yourself from desperation but also become more naturally and sustainably attractive. Number 3, master your emotions. Women often unconsciously test men's emotions. It's a natural part of their instincts to seek security and stability. They may use teasing words, comments, or actions that seem aimed at provoking you, not because they want a negative reaction, but because they want to see how you handle the situation. This helps them assess your stability and inner strength. Many men make the mistake of falling into this trap. They become emotional, defensive, and quick to anger. Once a man reacts in a loss of control, he loses his position and power in the relationship, exposing a weakness that women can instinctively sense. When you fail to stay calm under pressure, you unintentionally diminish your attractiveness because women seek security and desire to be with someone who can remain grounded and undisturbed. Now imagine the opposite scenario, when she says or does something that might annoy you, but instead of reacting, you simply smile, stay calm, and carry on as if nothing happened. This reaction not only surprises her but also creates a feeling of security because you demonstrate admirable self-control. You show her that you aren't swayed by external factors, that your emotions and self-worth aren't dependent on her approval or anyone else's. This calm response gives you invisible strength, as you're not only controlling yourself but also changing the dynamics in the relationship. You become the leader in the situation rather than being swept up in temporary emotions. This makes you stand out from 99% of other men, those who are easily drawn into an emotional whirlwind. Women, consciously or unconsciously, will feel attracted to your composure and steadiness because these qualities reflect confidence and maturity. Number 4, become less accessible. This is one of the most effective ways to increase your value in the eyes of others, especially when dealing with rejection. Many men, after being rejected, make the big mistake of trying to stay close to the woman, hoping that their constant presence will make her reconsider. However, this usually only diminishes your value in her eyes, as being constantly available sends the message that you have nothing more important than trying to get her attention. Instead, try creating some distance. Don't respond to messages immediately, and don't always be available to meet or hang out whenever she asks. This creates a space for her to wonder about you. When your attention isn't so easy to attain, she'll start to wonder, asking herself where you are, what you're doing, and whether someone else might be occupying your thoughts. That's when a sense of regret begins to surface, as she realizes that you aren't always available, thus raising your value in her eyes. Becoming less accessible doesn't mean playing hard to get or being difficult. Instead, focus on your own life, prioritizing your work, passions, and other relationships. When you invest time in yourself, you naturally become less available and enhance your self-worth, showing that you're self-reliant and not easily dependent on anyone else. Number 5. Be true to yourself. Living authentically with no regrets is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Own your personal story, accept your strengths and flaws, and never change just to please someone else. When you are unapologetically yourself, you create an undeniable natural attraction. Those who are truly right for you will see, love, and appreciate the real you, not a version crafted to satisfy them. When she realizes that you're confident, genuine, and steadfast in who you are, she may regret losing someone so alive and authentic. Never apologize for who you are or what you want in life. You are not only enough but worthy of the best. When you fully accept and take pride in yourself, your inner strength becomes evident and attractive. People around you will be drawn to the stability and confidence you radiate. And when you live authentically, others will sense that honesty and admire the real you. If she sees this, she'll recognize your worth not because you tried to change, but because you grew and stayed true to yourself. Number 6. Focus on your joy in life. After rejection, don't just sit around and let sadness control you. Dwelling on what happened or wasting time scrolling through their Instagram, wondering if they're happier without you, only pulls you into a negative spiral. Instead, choose to go out, enjoy life, and create meaningful memories for yourself. This isn't to prove anything to anyone else, but to affirm to yourself that rejection isn't the end. It's an opportunity to become stronger, more positive, and passionate. As you start enjoying life, something magical happens. You'll feel freer, happier, and more confident. Often, this newfound freedom makes those who rejected you realize they lost someone full of life. There's nothing more attractive than someone who knows how to live fully, who treasures every moment, and shines with joy from within. Remember, this isn't about making anyone regret their choices or getting back at them. You're doing this to remind yourself that you deserve a beautiful life, with or without them. Each day you choose to move forward, live for yourself, and enjoy life's journey, you advance on the path to confidence, growth, and happiness. Number 7. Avoid overthinking the reasons. Overanalyzing why you were rejected can easily become a damaging cycle that erodes your self-confidence. When faced with rejection, most people want to understand what went wrong, replaying conversations, actions, or even specific words in search of answers. However, this process rarely brings clarity and often only leads to self-doubt and confusion. Sometimes the reason for rejection is quite simple. The other person didn't feel a connection or didn't share the same emotional frequency. This is beyond your control and isn't a reflection of your worth. Rejection often reflects the other person's circumstances, emotions, or personal experiences rather than you. You may be a kind, interesting, and deep person, but if they don't feel a natural connection, it doesn't mean you lack value or aren't worthy of love and appreciation. Try shifting your perspective. Instead of agonizing over the question why, see rejection as a sign guiding you towards someone who is a better match. The time and energy spent dwelling on the reasons could be better invested in positive pursuits. Focus on self-care, follow your passions, develop new hobbies, and build healthy relationships with those who genuinely value you. You'll feel happier knowing your worth isn't based on someone else's perception, but on how you see and appreciate yourself. Number 8. Don't follow them on social media. Continuing to check up on someone who rejected you, whether on Instagram, Facebook, or elsewhere, only prolongs the pain and makes it harder to move on. Seeing photos of them happy, successful, or even with someone new will only trigger painful emotions, reinforcing feelings of inadequacy and loss. Each time you view their profile, you inadvertently remind yourself of the rejection, weakening your ability to let go and move forward. Instead, consider creating distance both emotionally and on social media to allow yourself to see things more calmly and objectively. Creating distance isn't avoidance, it's self-preservation, giving you the time and space to reflect without being influenced by images or updates from their life. This helps you concentrate on your own healing process rather than getting caught up in unnecessary thoughts and negative emotions. Number 9. Learn to let go. Letting go doesn't mean erasing memories or forgetting everything. It means accepting and choosing to move forward with grace. When you let go of a relationship that no longer serves you, you don't have to discard all the memories, feelings, or experiences shared. Instead, letting go is a process of accepting that the relationship no longer brings you the value or growth you deserve. Once you embrace this, your heart will feel lighter, as though the weight has lifted, allowing you to look back without overwhelming pain or regret. Accepting that the relationship has ended not only frees you from negative emotions but also creates new space in your heart to welcome positive connections and opportunities. Letting go allows you to stop clinging to what no longer fits, opening you up to new and better possibilities. When you're no longer tied to the past, you'll realize that life is full of potential, joy, and people who will genuinely appreciate you. Letting go is a journey, and acceptance is the first crucial step. Though it may take time, as you gradually accept and move forward, you'll feel the freedom and peace that come from within. This is how you return to yourself stronger and ready to face life with renewed hope. Number 10. See rejection as an inevitable opportunity. Remember that rejection is just a small part of your life's long journey. It doesn't define who you are. Every time you face rejection, you have the chance to build resilience and learn from challenges. Rejection doesn't diminish your value, it's merely a hurdle along your path. In fact, it can serve as a catalyst to help you grow stronger and move closer to your goals. Life is a series of experiences, and rejection is inevitable, whether in work, relationships, or any other area. However, how you choose to handle rejection shapes your inner strength. When you understand that acceptance or rejection from others doesn't define your personal worth, you'll be able to stand firm in the face of setbacks. Rather than letting rejection hold you back, see it as an opportunity to reaffirm your values and goals. Number 11. Act as if they don't exist. One of the most powerful actions you can take after being rejected is to behave as if that person doesn't exist. Yes, completely remove them from your thoughts, mind, and life. Don't give them any more of your attention. This approach is effective because human nature is often drawn to things they cannot have. When you stop acknowledging their existence, you become a mystery. And what is more intriguing than someone who remains unaffected by rejection? Nothing. The moment you stop caring about their opinion, you reclaim all your power. It shows that their rejection doesn't define your worth and certainly doesn't dictate how you live your life. Number 12. Build your legacy. Think bigger than relationships. In the end, relationships may come and go, but what legacy will you leave behind? Start thinking beyond dating and focus on building something lasting, whether it's a business, personal brand, or a contribution to society. When you work on building your legacy, you become more attractive not only to her but to everyone around you. People are naturally drawn to those who are creating something meaningful. You're no longer the man solely focused on winning her back. You're building a life that's larger than any single relationship. When she sees that you're no longer caught up in minor things, but are instead focused on creating something lasting, her sense of regret will only grow. Set long-term goals for your life and focus on creating value that goes beyond personal relationships. Number 13. Never reveal your pain in the face of rejection. While feelings of disappointment and hurt are inevitable, revealing your pain will only make you appear vulnerable. Showing others your internal struggle gives them the power to control your emotions and your life. Not everyone deserves that kind of power, especially those who don't genuinely care about you. Instead of showing your pain, let it fuel your growth. Keep those deep emotions to yourself and turn them into inner strength. Vulnerability isn't a weakness, but when displayed too openly, you risk being perceived as fragile. This is especially true in dating, where weakness is seldom respected and often looked down upon. So rather than openly sharing your pain, let it remain hidden and use it as motivation to keep moving forward. Remember, facing pain in silence isn't avoiding emotions, it's a way to control and overcome them. Don't post sad updates on social media or message the person who rejected you to show your struggle. Move forward with strength, keep your heart steady, and continue living your life. Others will recognize your resilience and self-control, and there's nothing that causes more reflection than seeing someone remain unaffected and continue forward with confidence.